Going on, man? I'm back. About to do this Miami versus Virginia Tech preview. Miami hosts Virginia Tech this Friday at the Rock, 7:30 p.m. So without further ado, man, we gonna get into it. So Virginia Tech comes in 2-2. If y'all, don't know who they played and all of that. First week they played Vanderbilt. They lost 34-27. Week two, they was on the road at Vandy. Week two, they played Marshall at home. They won 31-14. Week three, they was on the road at Old Dominion, won 37-17. And then last week they was at home and they lost to Rutgers. So I watched that Vanderbilt game pretty much the whole game. Kyron Jones played like shit the whole game. He low key been playing like shit the entire season. If I'm being honest, and I'm only bringing this up because last year, um, I wouldn't say he played great, but he played good enough. Last year he threw for right under 2,100 yards. He was only completing about 58% of his passes. But he did throw 17 touchdowns and only three picks. So it's from like in the air, he wasn't turning the ball over as much. And he also ran for 800 yards. So he had almost 3,000 yards last year. And he wasn't, at the helm like the entire time. So, that's productive. Um, so far this year, he didn't already threw three interceptions. So, Virginia Tech in general has been turning the ball over a lot. But, so that's neither here nor there, man. So they've been turning the ball over a lot. I'm gonna kind of cover, we'll do it like this. So we'll run down their offense. The main guys are on offense, defense, and then I'll tell you who the best players are. And then we'll kind of just cover Miami briefly, and then we'll talk about some of the comparisons and the matchups and things like that, things to look out for. So far this year, Kyron Jones, 765 passing yards, completing right at 60% of those, four touchdowns, three picks. Um, he's been sacked 8 times. He is Cam Ward's cousin. Um, and Cam Ward said they haven't talked, this week or whatnot. He said they've been had the conversation, I guess, before the season started. But in a nutshell, Drones done pretty much played like shit the whole year. I've watched two of Virginia Tech's games, like actually watched them through and through. He only has three picks on the season, but to be honest, I watched him the Vanderbilt game at the very least throw like two or three other passes that should have been intercepted. One was picked off and a penalty brought it back. Another one they intercepted, but they said he didn't catch it. Like he's been off the entire year, if I'm being honest. Um, and not even from a completion percentage, but he's just been putting the ball in harm's way consistently. I don't know if I expect him to continue that this game, just because, this is the game of the year for Virginia Tech, if we being honest. So no matter how outmatched they are from a talent perspective, just being real, they can't fuck with us. But I know they're gonna get up for this game, so I'm not gonna underestimate what they could potentially do. As far as from a rushing perspective, he got 209 rushing yards this year, two TDs. Um, so their best running back, and they're really their only guy to focus on for real is Tootin, number 33. He has 391 yards on the year. That boy already got seven tutties. So he doing right under 100 yards a game. And he's their best player on offense right now. Consistently, he's made the most plays for them. He's broken 30 tackles so far this year. That's a lot of tackles, you know what I'm saying, to break in a 4 game span, in my opinion. So definitely towards the top of the nation, with the broken tackles and everything. And he can be effective, in the pass game. They do like to try to get him involved. He hasn't been as involved this year, but he do have one receiving touchdown. Their best receiver so far this year has been Jalen Lane. Um, it's funny because Jalen Lane actually played on that Middle Tennessee State team in 2022 when they played Miami. And he low key went off on Miami. That boy had 100 and some yards on us. He was number 83 on that team that like caught a little pass and slid basically on the whole team. So um uh, I know Mario is familiar with this kid. But he's been their best receiver so far this year. 247 yards, one touchdown. I guess other guys to look out for at wide receiver, Steven Gosnell. Um, Gosnell is like number 12. Um, he has caught a good amount of down the field passes. He only has 8 catches, but he averaging 21 yards a catch. You turn on the highlight film or whatever, he got like at least 4 nice snags like down the field for real. Um, and then his brother is the tight end, Benji Gosnell. I'm assuming that's his brother. Two young white kids. Um, Daquan Felton was their best wide receiver last year from a numbers perspective. He ain't really got off like that this year, but he is a big body, bro, 6'5". Like he can really be a problem. And then the other person I want to highlight that haven't really made an impact at Virginia Tech so far, but I'm not gonna sleep on him because players like this love to try to get off on Miami, but Ollie Jennings. So previously, Ollie Jennings, I believe he was at Old Dominion. He transferred in from Virginia Tech to Virginia Tech last year, but he got hurt. And that boy, if I'm not mistaken, that boy was averaging something crazy at Old Dominion, like on the per catch basis, like for real, for real. Yeah, the boy was averaging 17 yards a catch when he was at Old Dominion, pretty much 18 on one. You feel me? Averaging 1,000 yards a year, which is crazy. So, he definitely got speed and he can make plays. So don't want to sleep on him. Um, that's pretty much it, man. Like as far as people to watch on their offense. So they have a good bit of folks out. I know their left guard isn't playing. Another one of their linemen, was banged up and stuff like that. So just simply put, man, we just need to do our job. They're only averaging 29 points a game. I already told you who they played. They done play Old Dominion and Marshall and stuff like that. But like I said, they only putting up 29 points a game, like 380 yards of offense. So they're doing about 190 through the air. And then like what, a buck 80 something on the ground, like a buck 88 on the ground. So definitely want to make it a point to stop Tootin. He's averaging almost 6 yards a carry. So stop him, limit drones on his running, and then we can get in there and pretty much shut shit down, to be honest. Um, but yeah, man, another thing about them on offense, they only convert like 41% of their third downs. They're terrible at third down conversions, you know. But just in general, man, I think that I think they're gonna come in ready to play. Just like last week, I expect them to, they're only averaging 191 passing yards. I expect them to try to throw the ball on us. They're gonna go down the field with Jennings. They'll probably go down the field with Stephen Gosnell, Jalen Lane. They're gonna hit certain quick things to him and, try to let him make plays. Felton is a big body, so I definitely think they're gonna try to attack us in that manner. I don't think their O line is going to hold up. Drone's been under hella pressure all year. You know what I'm saying? And he's obviously mobile, but all year he been running around. He only been sacked 8 times, but and they've been sacked 10 times in total. But the protection hasn't been good. So I expect us to be able to generate pressure on these boys if I'm being real. As far as, folks to know for them on the defensive side of the ball, um, I would definitely say both cornerbacks. So you got Delane, which he kind of got picked on the Vanderbilt game, but Delane and Dorian Strong. So number 4 and 44. Prior to the year, everybody was talking about how Virginia Tech had two NFL cornerbacks that could be, they both should be first day picks and all of that, and whatnot. They supposed to be clapping shit, locking it down, whatever, whatever. So I will say with Delane, he has 2 interceptions this year so far. And he also has 4 pass deflections. Did get picked on, I guess week 1, but he was in good position on some of them plays. He just got beat. That's all. So, I wouldn't sleep on that. Lawson was their leading tackler at linebacker last year. Right now, Phillips is leading them in tackles, their safety. One thing I do want to point out though, the starting safety is out, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, one of the starting safeties is out, Jalen Stroman. So true freshman Quentin Reddish is gonna be starting at safety. Definitely look to take advantage of that. Um, They got some players on the defensive line in particular. They got a beast, APR, Antoine Powell Ryland. That boy is a problem. He got 5.5 sacks so far this year, 17 tackles. I believe he had 9.5 or 10 sacks last year. APR is a problem. They need to make sure they block and identify that motherfucker at all times for real. As far as anybody else on the D line, Peebles, and there's Peebles could, be an issue that we got to make sure that we handle. Um, Josh Fuga has generated some pressure on plays and stuff like that. So we really just got to make sure we handle business. They're not doing anything that, that will pop out at you, if I'm being honest. They really not. Like, so it is what it is. They only got, I think, 2 interceptions on the year, but they not doing anything that pop out at you. This don't look like your vintage Virginia Tech defense, even though they do have two guys on the outside that I know we're gonna test all day. As far as who they got for the slot, that's where I think X is probably just gonna go crazy and eat these boys alive. I mean, he gonna get his regardless, but that's, kind of what we're looking at in general, man. So I would say their best player on offense would be Tootin. Look for Kyron Drones to try to get up, get going. He playing against his cousin team. Um, it's a Friday night game. They just shitted last week and lost, to Rutgers. They looking for some get back. So I do expect them to come, and try to put up a good fight, man. I don't, expect them to lay down in any regards. I will say on defense, though, they're giving up 23 points a game. So if you just do the math on what they're giving up and what they're scoring, they're not scoring 29 on us. So that cancels that out. We're scoring more than 23 on them. So you already see where I'm going with this. They're not going to be able to stop us, in my opinion. As long as we take care of the ball, we'll be fine. Um, Defensively, they technically only given up 160 passing yards, but they played some bad passing teams, but they given up 188 yards on the ground. So motherfuckers is really running all over them. I don't even know if I remember, and I could be wrong, but I don't know if I remember a time when Virginia Tech was giving up almost 200 rushing yards a game, 4 games into the season. That's fucking crazy, especially when you factor in the fact that they played Marshall. Vandy was getting off. Buddy from Marshall was sliding on them boys. Obviously they played Rutgers last week, and then they played Old Dominion. So you shouldn't be giving up no damn near 200 rushing yards a game. So I would like for us to really try to impose our will on them, to be honest. It's like, bro, they already struggling in that area. They turn the ball over on offense. Let's get out here. I know we gonna throw it around a lot, but let's get out here and make shit happen in the run game. If you're gonna do it against an ACC opponent and get it started, it might as well be against the motherfuckers that's giving up almost 200 a game. But that's enough on them. On defense, one of the DTs is out, and I think one of their starting linebackers is out as well. So they are dealing with some injuries just like us, but that's part of the game, man. As far as on the Kane side, man, y'all already know what's what. Cam Ward, 1,439 yards, 72%, 14 TDs, only two interceptions. He's only been sacked twice so far this year. He's balling. That's all I can say. My boy Cam Ward is balling. He got over 1,500 yards total, including the rushing, 15 touchdowns. Um, at running back. So I thought Martinez was gonna get going last week. He really didn't. Obviously, he had the three touchdowns, which was a good look. Him being direct on the goal line and just going and hitting it though, and not doing none of the hesitating and stuff like that was nice to see. Um, so Jordan Lyle is currently leading us in rushing yards at 233 total on the year. Obviously, he had the 100-yard game and the 91-yard run last week. I'll say this. I'm not really sure out of Lyle, Martinez, Allen, and Fletcher. I'm not sure, who's gonna make the plays this week. I think that no matter what, the good thing is we have four running backs that at any moment could make a play and help us score, bust a game open, bust a drive open. So I think that's a positive. So that's kind of where I'm gonna leave that. I'm not really sure where we're going with it. I would like us to come out and just straight up run the ball more, but not really sure if we're gonna do that. Obviously X is our leading receiver right now, 362 yards on the year. That boy already got five touchdowns. He low key been going crazy. X averaging 18 yards a catch right now, which is extremely high in my opinion. Obviously, Horton had a good game last game. Would like to see him continue that. Um, Arroyo averaging 20 yards a catch. I don't know if y'all boys realize it, but when Arroyo getting that rock, man, it's he making some plays with it. It's nothing crazy, but it's you can tell the talent is top tier in my opinion. Definitely. I would like to see Jacoby get going this week. I know he's hampered with the ankle injury. He re-injured it versus USF. So they pulled him and he was hobbling around a little bit, but he should be good to go. And it'll be good to see Sam Brown make another big play again, man. That was dope seeing him, take that one 75, 76 yards to the crib for sure. Hopefully we get Jalen Rivers back. I'm praying he's back. We need him. I thought Markel Bell played well last game, but we're entering ACC play now. I'm not sure if APR moves around or not, but I don't want Markel Bell at any point blocking somebody like APR. If Markel Bell is blocking APR, Cam Ward could potentially get popped on his blind side. You know what I'm saying? Markel played well overall. There were some plays where he completely got beat. And that's just, what it is, man. We need Jalen Rivers back for this game. So I hope he's back. Hope he's healthy. Hope the whole O-line is intact. Shout out Zach Carpenter, man. I don't think I really could have drawn it up better. There were questions about the center position at one point, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say if you comparing, what was done this year and last year so far, you can't tell me that Matt Lee is better. Not saying like you can't like it's either even or Carpenter's better so far from what we've seen. He has surprised me. He moves people well, and that's just, it's been a pleasant surprise. So hopefully the rest of the O line is good. I hope Inez Cooper is good to go, man. CC, he gonna be moving shit, and we should be good, man. McCoy staying there doing his thing, but I think we'll still see some rotating or just getting young guys snaps. It might not be early on, but we'll probably see a little movement once we get the lead up and everything. And then don't count out Lofton or CJ making a big play as well. So, I think that's just kind of where we at with it on offense overall, man. I would like to come out and see us run the ball um a few times and then go play action and take a deep shot and get a touchdown. Come out, run the ball, get good enough yardage, and then play action touchdown. And that'll be great. That'll be ideal. Um, as far as on defense, man, we got to make sure that we do what we need to do, especially with the run game. We know they're gonna try to get off on the run game, so our fits got to be good. I pray that I see Popo out there a lot. That's what I would prefer. Hopefully we can get Bane back this week. I'm not sure if he plays, but it would be nice if Bane played. Because Mezzi been playing DT faithfully. So we really only got two D ends that we're playing on a regular basis outside of playing Malik Bryant at the jack, right? In the heat of the games. I haven't seen Cole get any snaps, in the heat of the games or whatever. So yeah, hopefully the D line do what they need to do, man. Virginia Tech then gave up 10 sacks this year, so 2.5 sacks. Should have been more. So I expect Miami to get 5 sacks, four at a minimum, but I'm expecting five. I think that if we get them behind the gun and get up early on them boys and force them to throw the ball more than they want to, then it's going to be lights out. Last week, Rutgers was up 14-0 on them boys. Jumped on them from out the gate. So that's what I would like to do to allow the D line to sit back and eat. As far as that, I'm fine with everything Jaden Harris is doing. I got no problems with Mish. He's doing a fantastic job on the outside. I hope Richards is not starting. If Richards is starting, I do expect him to get beat downfield. That's just what I've seen. He consistently has struggled, and I don't want him to be the reason why they get going. So get Richards off my field, man. That's just how I feel about him. No disrespect to the kid. It is what it is. But you've been barbecue chicken all year, my boy. I'm not gonna even lie to you. I can't even think of a play where I'm like, oh, he made that play. You really been barbecue chicken. So get him out of here. A lot of Deani Hill, a lot of OJ Frederick. I'm expecting DP2 to have a bounce back game. Um, because the coverage was looking Swiss cheese last week for a minute. So expecting that to bounce back. They're one of the worst third down teams in the country on offense. We one of the best third down defenses in the country. Um, I really expect us to do a lot, man. Like they've been throwing picks. Think we tied for like number two in the nation with 8 interceptions. Like that's where our takeaways are coming from. You know what I'm saying? Like we getting the takeaways by picking the ball off, and Virginia Tech been turnover prone. The one thing I'll say, if we just take care of the ball, don't get the stupid penalties, then we should slide on these boys. Um, just based off of what they giving up, what, 23 a game, I expect Miami to score probably about 45. Yeah, I expect Miami to score about 45. So if you talking a score prediction, maybe 45-17, 45-14, somewhere up in there. Um, I don't expect this to be a game. I would like to just jump on them early and go ahead and put these boys to bed. One thing I will say, the morale is low in their program in general. Their writers themselves picked Virginia Tech to lose by 3 scores. Um, their board is kind of in a little frenzy about how stuff looks and they want to burn it all down and all of this. They thought they had X, Y, and Z or whatever, whatever. So they in a funk right now. I said all that to say, go in there, beat the shit out these boys, keep them in their funk, send their ass back on to Virginia Tech with an L, and that's it. Um, I think this is a good way to open up ACC play. It was a shorter week. I know the storm is passing through. We should have the all clear for it, and we should be good, man. Just go in here, handle business, get out of here healthy. Um, we not even in the same stratosphere as far as with performance, talent, teams, all of that. We averaging pretty much what? I don't even know if I looked it up, but I'm pretty sure we averaging like 50 a game. So, we should stay in line with high 40s for sure. And just keep it right, keep it rolling, man. Protect the ball and get these boys to fuck up out the paint. I do think we gotta make sure we win our one-on-one battles on the outside. It's not about Cam Ward necessarily throwing people open and stuff like that. Number four, I've seen him, get beat multiple times this year. I think if he's on Isaiah Horton, we definitely take advantage. Um, and yeah, man, just get him out the paint. I know we gonna identify the true freshman that's playing safety, pick him the fuck apart. So just do what we gotta do, man. Handle business, and everything should take care of itself. I want to get out of this game healthy and have everybody go on their way, man.